All right, Tuesday, the LA County Board of Supervisors advanced a proposal that would revamp county government, expanding the size of the board, establishing an independent ethics commission, and more. The proposal will ultimately require approval from county voters. LA County Board of Supervisors Chair Lindsey Horvath, alongside Janice Hahn, who you just saw in Hal's piece, is behind this revamp proposal. And no, we did not plan the green, but we did get the green memo.
Apparently.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So this is a big deal because county government has been around since, what, 1912 here, and nothing has changed. We have 10 million people and 5 of you, 5 supervisors. What does this vote mean?
That's right. The last time the county charter was amended in terms of governance, there were more cows than people, and women didn't have the right to vote. So we're trying to bring the county government into the 21st century, making sure that we have a government that is responsive to the needs of Los Angeles County residents, which means more seats at the table. We're expanding the board. We are having an elected executive to separate out the executive and legislative authorities, and we are proposing an independent ethics commission as well as other commissions to help make sure that we don't get this far behind in terms of how we govern people going forward. There will be a charter reform commission that reviews the charter every 10 years. There will be a body that works on implementing these changes because we know that we're providing the architecture of the change, but how we actually implement that change we need to do in partnership with community members and stakeholder engagement. So this is a process going forward should LA County voters be with us, and I hope they will.
So what is the next step? Because this was a 3-0 vote, and there were concerns. In fact, Supervisors Mitchell and Supervisor Barger, they abstained from voting. They had concerns. One of those concerns is why 9? Why not 7? Why not 10? Why not 15? There are 10 million people. How did we get to the number 9?
So the number 9 has been studied for a number of years, and in fact our motion references that these proposals have been studied and studied for decades. More than 50 years of study has gone into this. 9 is a number that's quite familiar to the voters. It's in fact been proposed before. It's about a doubling of the board, so I think that's a modest increase for a 10 million population. And it reminds people that there can be more seats at the table for this conversation, and should they pass it, they can continue to make changes to make sure that this government is reflective of what is needed in the moment. We don't expect that what's proposed in the ordinance that will come forward encompasses all of the changes that we need to make it perfect, but what we do need is to continue to advance how our government works. I know that we're always striving for more perfect union in our country, and we see what chaos can look like at the federal level if we leave our government unattended. Hopefully locally we'll get more people involved in what our government looks like, and that's really what this proposal intends to do.
So what is next in terms of this could get on the ballot, the voters could vote on this come November? What's next in between now and then?
So right now we have directed County Council to come back to us with an ordinance. That ordinance will come back to the board for a first reading and then a second reading before it is put onto the ballot. So there will be opportunity for input at both of those meetings in between now and then. But this is really, as I said, the beginning of a process. This is just the architecture for change. And we want to make sure that this is a process that actively engages people going forward. We bring a lot of voices into that process. And so should the voters say we're ready for change, we want a more ethical, more responsive, more expanded representation at the table. Those are all kinds of things that we've been hearing consistently. In fact, we did research in the community that people overwhelmingly want to see change, and we're ready to deliver it.
Well, the board of your meetings, you can go and you can engage as a public member. One of those who was there yesterday was the daughter of Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, Violet Affleck. She went in there and she was very strong in her words. She wanted to talk about essentially mask mandates, and she vehemently opposes that. Here's what she had to say.
To confront the long COVID crisis, I demand mask availability, air filtration, and far UVC light in government facilities, including jails and detention centers, and mask mandates in county medical facilities. We must expand the availability of high-quality free tests and treatment, and most importantly, the county must oppose mask bans for any reason.
Okay, so she opened with remarks saying that in 2019 she had essentially a post-COVID, perhaps it was long COVID. She wasn't necessarily clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, but she dealt with the virus, and so she very much wants access to masks so that our audience isn't confused. There is no mask mandate in place right now.
There's no mask mandate, there's no mask ban, we have no plans on any of that. And I was really impressed to see a young person come forward, share their personal experience, be on the record, and engage us as a board. We need more of that. We need more of a new generation coming in and telling us exactly what their experience is and how they want to see us be responsive.
Yeah, her first words were, "I'm 18 years old, first-time voter here."
I was so inspired.
The civic engagement, yeah, it is to be admired. Whether or not you agree with anything, it doesn't matter.
That's exactly right.
That's not the point.
That's exactly right.
All right, well, we appreciate you taking the time out. Lindsey Horvath, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.